so I'll get started with the 2024 weather report. So hi, I'm Kelly. It's my first time at XenSummit. Some of you I've probably met, some of you, some new faces that I haven't. So I joined XenServer 11 months ago. It feels like a long time, but I haven't actually been here for a year yet. It's actually such a nice, conference today that I get to actually see some of these people face to face and actually know the community. So my role as a community manager, when you ask anyone what a community manager does, it's something we say we wear many different hats. Every day is so different. So one day I'm looking at the financial statement for the Sen project, making sure our project is healthy. Next day I'm working with the board to make sure our priorities are aligned. But my main role here is to support and grow the community. So that's working with the technical community, the users, and also the board to make sure that our project is healthy, that we need to be where we want to be. My role is to advocate for open source both internally and externally, make sure that everyone here today knows what we do and what we achieve, but also people who have not yet heard of Sen, that they get involved as well. Finally, I want you to all connect with me. So I've realized that I came in and loads of people want to shake my hand already. I'd love to meet you all, so do come and grab me for a coffee later so that I can have a chat. I'm also on Matrix and LinkedIn if you guys want to talk to me, especially our virtual attendees. Okay, so straight into it as well. I appreciate that a lot of people in the community have been around for a long time, but I'd also like to say hi to all our new members. And with that, I'd like to run through the Sen project governance and how it all works. So the code is governed by developers, and it follows a meritocracy framework. Any decisions, these votes are done by leadership teams and facilitated by myself. In terms of resources, we get financial support from the advisory board, and with this, we're really grateful for. So some of these financial support goes towards the infrastructure of a project, our XenSummit collaboration here today, marketing and PR releases that we do, and in general, just helps us run smoothly as a project. So you probably see the image on the side there. Funnily enough, a Sen project has been around for a long time, so 20 years. For our Sen project membership, so this is an open call to any future and potential members. Do invest in open source and have your say in the strategy. For every one developer's work you do, you receive back 2, and this is based on our last release. I'm sure you're here today because you're all part of this amazing community, and we are better together. So open source makes your community innovate faster, become agile, and it helps you build a network of relationships with different people. I'm sure today a lot of you have been in the community maybe 10 years or more, and you've worked with different people across different companies, and you've maintained that relationship all throughout. A bit more information on our project membership. So governing members start from 25,000 USD per year, and startup members start from 5,000. I have put a little caveat here because our fees are due to change in 2025. Our board members are looking to increase the fees in our project, and we're hoping that by doing so, we get more financial support into Sen project. So what's been happening? Well, we did our 4.18 release recently. So we have a new RISC-V port and a new PowerPC port. Our Sen GitLab CI has vastly improved, and we've adopted more MISRA rules. We had 4 directives and 24 rules in 4.17 to 6 directives and 65 rules in our 4.18 release. The SVE is now also merged upstream in Sen and is available as a tech preview. And the memory subsystem in Sen on ARM64 is now more compliant with the ARM architecture. Again, these are just some of the noteworthy things that we've done in a previous release, and you can find more in our PR articles and also our blogs online as well. 4.19, so the community has been busy working on this. I'd like to thank our release manager, Alexi. He's been very helpful in providing some of this information to us. As you can see on the side, this is our rough timeline and estimate of what we aim to do, with our intended release date being July the 17th. So far, we have 11 XSAs that have been published. Again, the Sen project is known for its security, and we want to enhance this where possible. We also want to keep it safe from common vulnerabilities, and we want to address further violations of MISRA. With all this, we are improving code quality and compliance within Sen project and helping our project be available to more use cases. There's also been improvements on various architectures, and I'm sure if you speak to anyone in the technical community today, they'll be able to tell you a bit more. So documentation. When I first started, this was something that everyone basically said is the most important thing. So we all know we have a wiki at XenProject, but I'm sure you can appreciate that the wiki was probably working when we first started, but since then we've evolved as a project and some of it is quite outdated. With this, we do have a brand new XenProject documentation that we're working on, so I'd like to thank Alejandro, who's been pushing this forward. We are currently going to move to Sphinx, so right now we're just waiting on writing some documentation guidelines to make sure that anyone who does want to contribute has some sort of ballpark in terms of how they can do it and what they should be doing. What we really want to do is lower the barriers to entry in our project. By improving documentation, we are really making sure that users and everyone in the community gets a better understanding of what Xen is about and how to use it. So this is a volunteer call for anyone who has been writing documentation on the side or anyone who wants to get involved. Do reach out because the community would love your help. A new website. So you might or might not know that we have a new website happening. Our old website, it works well. You know, you have the relevant information on there. Everything's in one place, but we really could improve. From our stats, we actually receive a lot of organic traffic to our pages, and on the XenProject website, similar to our wiki, there's quite a lot of outdated information in terms of teams and in terms of what we actually do. So on the right, you'll see a snippet of what our new website will look like. This has been ongoing in the past couple of months, and what I really want to do is clarify the information and make sure that anyone who lands on our website knows who we are as a project, why the XenProject is great, and what capabilities we have. Not only that, this is a great way to encourage some people who are not involved in the technical community to know about us, especially if we're looking to increase potential funding and get help from future members as well. So really quickly, I did the Xen annual survey early in January this year, and it was a quick review to see how we were performing in the community in 2023. What I really wanted to highlight with this slide is how our community feels about the project. You might not see this every day, but overall, we received really good response. So no participants thought the Xen community was bad or awful. However, 50% of you thought it was great but could improve. And that's a really good statistic because it just shows that people care, and no open source project is perfect. So what I really want to do is hear more of your feedback on where we can improve and how we can do it. The main thing is engagement here is really important. So whether you have feedback either in the survey anonymously or you have something direct to give to me, things like this is really important for us to understand how we can collaborate better together as a project. Okay, top contributors. Firstly, thank you to the whole community for your contributions. And I mean this not just code, but things such as documentation and website and other things that the project gets involved in. It also does show the power of open source and collaboration, that it's not just one person in the project that comes together, but everyone. With that, I would like to shout out our key top contributors. So Andy, Jan, Jürgen, Julian, Mikhail, Roger, and everyone else on the screen. Thank you for your contributions. If you'd like to join me in a round of applause. And some more statistics. So coming on top, Cloud Software Group being the top contributor in the project for our previous release, followed by SUSE and AMD. And what I really want to showcase here is how we have such a diverse community. This in itself shows that you put in one developer's contributions, you get much more back. And because we have such a wide range of contributions from different companies, it really helps elevate our code and networking that we have here today. A bit on spending. So this is our budgeted overview and not actual. Some of it is obviously still being confirmed by our finance team in Linux Foundation. How did we do? So a deeper dive into this. As you can see, our financial spending is mainly allocated to Xen Summit, such as today, our IT contractors and test labs, any legal and administrative fees for Linux Foundation, and things such as marketing services. What I am doing is really important with the board is reviewing these financial spending because we need to keep the project sustainable long term. So one example of that is considering different ways on how we're going to do future Sen Summits. Again, this is not saying that that will stop, because to me, developer collaboration and engagement is really important. But what we do want to do is make sure that we are spending healthily and keeping our cash flow balance healthy. So one of those is maybe hosting Sen Summit more locally or virtually. We've got loads of ideas. And I know Olivia, he has proposed a design session, so if anyone is interested, please do come along and share your ideas. I'm reiterating how important it is for a project to rely on support from board members, so all this helps contribute to our project and how it is run. In terms of project visibility, so we've been busy working in at least the past 11 months since I've joined on increasing what the Sen project is at in terms of events and our name in the industry. So in the top left corner, you'll see that AMD did a demonstration on virtualization using Sen. I gave my first talk at Open Source Summit in Japan about Sen project and spoke to a lot of community members. It was really surprising to see actually loads of people still know about us, although they do think maybe we're still not around. So for me, it's really important we change that wording and that visibility. Bugsang was at Embedded World. So they gave a talk, and they also wrote a paper on MISRA compliance and the Sen project. We were also featured in a number of talks, so some including FOSDEM and some other keynotes, where they highlight how we work together as open source projects, but also what a hypervisor has the capability of doing. A really interesting one that we did was we went back to Cambridge University, where our project first started, and we ran a workshop there. It was really good to see that some of the initial professors and people at the university were actually attending that workshop, and it was just great to meet some of those people who are local to some of us in Cambridge. Stefano also did a podcast for the Sen project, and we have many more initiatives other than the ones that I've shown here on the screen today. Community events. So we celebrated our 20th anniversary, which is a huge milestone. You can see some of the pictures here, just the great time that everyone's been having. For me as a community manager, I recognize the importance of developer engagement, which is why I chose to hold the first Cambridge Social. From what I heard, we had a community travel from near and far. We had some people travel in from France for the social, and it's really important that we sometimes take a pause and celebrate our successes. I appreciate that code is important and reviews will always be important, but at the same time, we are a community, and it's important that we work better together. So sometimes having a pint and getting together can really help improve those relationships. As a community, I do want you to all look forward to more events and socials. And what I will do is ask that if anyone wants to host one of these locally, please do reach out. As a project, I'm here to support you, and I'm here to make sure I can facilitate that. But again, I can't do everything without your help, and we want to do more of these fun things so that everyone gets together. Bit on the future. I can't predict what's going to happen, but these are some things that I will predict after speaking with the board and people at industry events. So currently there is heavy investment into functional safety. There's a big focus on automotive and embedded, which is why when we go to industry events, the Sen hypervisor isn't the only thing that they talk about. It's always a part of other projects. So this is why I can see that we're going to have close collaborations with projects such as Zephyr and Elisa. And AMD investing into Sen, getting it safety certified and getting more MISRA compliance only benefits the project. What I mean by this is because we have so many different projects within Zen, if we did have Sen safety certified, it not only positively impacts the hypervisor, but also all the different sub-projects within it. Some challenges. One thing I will note is that most open source projects face the same problem. We are not unique in that sense. Firstly, I would say that we do need more members to participate. By increasing workload and asking existing members to do more work, that isn't going to last. So how can we do that? Well, first thing is to lower the barriers of entry, which is what we're doing with our documentation and also our new website. We want to make it easier to onboard those new users and also to provide them with the information that they can to succeed in our community. This is where I need your help in terms of coaching others. If someone is new and they want to reach out to you and learn more about the Sen project, please do invest that bit of time to teach them about what our project does. I promise you the long-term benefits of that will actually last. Financial support is really important. So whilst I appreciate the board and their financial support into our project, we could always do with more help. We do need more members to invest in our project for us to last long term. And this is not unique. So what we're trying to do with the board at the moment is look at different benefits along with the developer community and make sure that when people invest in our project, they are seeing a return on their investment. Again, I've also proposed design sessions on this in terms of membership benefits and what we can do as a whole community. So do feel free, if you're interested, to vote for that one as well. Finally, outdated policies and complicated processes. This might work and has been working for the past 10, 20 years, but I promise you that ambiguity doesn't work in our favor. As we grow our project and as we grow our community, it makes it really difficult for things to get moving, and sometimes things get blocked. What we really need to do is make sure that we simplify where we can. And my role here today is to help everyone by facilitating this, by reviewing some of our outdated policies and making sure that we are focusing on what's important, which is the code and the project and how we can make sure that everyone gets to be a part of it. So as a community manager, I would like to share some tips for collaboration based on what I've seen in the community since I started. So I'm sure everyone can appreciate the first point. Everyone is super busy. Please be concise and clear in your requests or expectations. If you are going to be a blocker, or if you don't know a certain answer, just be transparent. I think people can appreciate honesty, and I think being clear in those requests really helps others in terms of their expectations and how they can obviously find different solutions around that. Communication through text can be challenging. So sometimes what we type in email is not what we mean, and we can't tell tone. So something I find very useful is consider a quick Zoom meeting. You might be sending 5, 10 emails, but if you hop on a Zoom call for maybe 10, 15 minutes, you could probably explain it a lot better, so that is what I would recommend. Again, come from a place of understanding. We aren't always perfect, and sometimes we make mistakes, so please do take feedback with grace. This is more constructive criticism for everyone. Everyone can do better, and everyone can learn from this. In terms of onboarding, what I really want to say is teach others and encourage learning. For someone who's brand new to the project, they might have a lot of questions. But long-term wise, if you teach them now and they save you time in the future, this is something that I think is worth our investment. Again, as a project, there's always room for improvement. So whether that is in code or in our processes, there's always ways that we can do things better. And with that, I would like to welcome everyone to say farewell to George. So I'd like to say thank you. George, if you are here, give us a wave. So George is stepping down as a committer. He started his journey in 2005 and has spent the past 19 years with the Zen community. This is a very, very old photo that someone sent to me in the community. I'm sure you all know George a lot better than I do, and he's been around for a long time, so I'm sure you're aware of all the contributions he has made. Again, I'd like to wish him good luck for his side project and all his future endeavors. So thank you, George. Okay, and with that, I end my keynote. Does anyone have any questions so far? Okay, well, with that, I'd like to thank you, everybody, and I'd like to welcome our next speaker. Yeah.